Welcome to Planet Marzipan podcast,
your fish and Marillion podcast,
where we talk about all things in the planet of Marillion and fish. I'm Meza, and here's my mate,
Craig Houston.
Hello, and welcome to Planet Marzipan podcast. I am Meza, and I'm here with my good friend,
Craig, who's recovering from the Rotary weekend.
Yeah.
So God knows what timeline this is going to be for when it goes out, but hi everybody.
No, that will make no sense when this goes out in September, will it? But there you go. And we have we've got another Planet Marzipan Meets episode, and this is the one. This is the person that's been on our list since we started. So,
oh no!
You know, you've heard Rothers, you've heard H, you've heard Ian, but we've gone straight
to the support acts.
We've got Mark Kennedy.
Hello,
Mark. You all
hello.
right?
Yeah, you
back.
finally. Yeah,
we enticed him back. All the hate mail has stopped. So come back on.
Season's end.
Yeah, we've pacified the pools.
Yeah. Oh, the pools are behaving themselves, so that's fine.
So Mike's here. Mike? Mike's not here. He's on every other episode, but he's not here today. Mark's here in his capacity as... Well, what's your job title, Mark?
I don't... it's difficult because I don't really have a job title. I think the one we came up with for the web mag was something like website manager, and
that doesn't really cover it.
It doesn't really cover it, no.
It doesn't scratch the surface.
No, not really. It's just a little bit of what I do. So,
chief cook and bottle washer.
Yeah.
So let's try and summarise for folks who don't know what you do.
Right.
Just list a few of the things that you do for them.
Right. Well, obviously, I look after the website. I do quite a bit of the merchandise, design the merchandise, arrange some of the production of it. I'll do a little bit of admin for Lucy, and just help out generally. Sometimes do some on-screen media for the live shows. It's been a while, but I do still get involved in that occasionally, and just whenever album covers, yeah, the odd album cover.
Which covers have you done?
I suppose the big one was with friends at St. David's.
No, my violin's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did I didn't do the actual cover for the new PZ release, but I did all the layout and everything for that. Simon Ward did the cover, so
yeah.
But yeah, and just generally whenever anybody needs something, it's
Mark will do it.
Can you do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So you'll be party to a lot of the ideas.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ideas that never made it to fruition then, presumably.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. There's the odd thing that doesn't get done.
So we'll go back in time.
Yeah.
How long have you been working for the band?
Oh, I think it's about 7 years, so 7 or 8 years. I was over here for about 5. I was over here over in the Netherlands and unemployed for about 5 years.
Right.
After you got deported from Newcastle.
And then I thought I'd better get a job. So Lucy phoned us one day and she just needed some help. Basically, they were struggling a bit with like admin and stuff. So she just phoned us up and said, "Would you be interested in coming and working for a couple of days a week?" And I said, "Yeah." And like I say, the general idea was that I would just help out with, answering emails and admin and stuff like that. And it snowballed from there.
You must love it, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Best job ever. It's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah. We were saying that when Lucy was over the other week, we were saying this, how many people would kill to do what we do. It is. It's the best job ever. It really is.
as an alternative to lots of people who want to kill us for what we
Yeah, true. Or would kill us to do what we do, literally.
Yeah.
But you mentioned screen media. I mean, screen media is actually what you got started with, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think you remember, don't you? You know the story, but I'll repeat it.
I've got original CD. I've got original
it was.
DVD. Yeah.
Have you got one of the DVDs?
Yes, you gave
Okay.
you gave me one of the first ones.
I think there was only 3 or 4, but anyway,
Yeah.
it was back when, just when a little bit before Happiness is the Road came out, I think.
Ooh, it's before that.
Might have been a little bit before that. Anyway, what happened was my dad. I'd been round to my parents one Sunday for dinner, and my dad had given me a DVD from a computer magazine, and he said, "Have a look at this," and it had a documentary on it about Sir Malcolm and Donald Campbell and about Bluebird and all that. So I think I was sitting watching it, and the light bulb goes on over your head, and I thought, hang on, I could take the music from Out of This World, and I could chop this up, and I could sync the music to the video, just for the hell of it, just to see what it looks like. So got hold of some software, chopped it all up, synchronized it, found some other footage and stuff as well. And when it was done, I think I showed it to a few people, and I thought, oh, this is really good. So thought, right, I'll send it to Lucy. So sent it to Lucy, and I think a couple of years went by because we weren't using screen media at all. And when I sent it, she said, "Oh, this is really good. Well, we'd like to use it, but we don't have any screens." So then fast forward to the Happiness is the Road tour. And I think it was, in fact, I know it was, I was in Nottingham at Rock City for the gig in Rock City, and I was standing at the merch desk, and Lucy phoned us and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm in the venue. I'm standing at the merch desk." "Right, go upstairs into the hall now and look at what the band are sound checking." So walked upstairs into the hall, and they were sound checking, and the video for Out of This World was playing on the projection screen, and that was the first time they played it. So, and after that, it was sort of, can you do this? Can you do that? If they needed a movie. So, and that's basically how it all started.
Wow. And you were a fan. We've been friends for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Craig's probably my best friend, and he was my best man at both my weddings, weren't you? So
you old tart.
Yeah.
He broke me heart when he moved to the Netherlands, but
yeah.
I love Vanessa, so she can have him.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been a sort of casual fan since about 87 or so, from like 87 to 88, 89.
Yeah.
I was like a casual fan. Then I sort of lost interest a bit. I thought there was other bands that I sort of got more interested in. So
well, you love your metal and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I love my metal. It was Queensryche, actually. That was probably what happened. I was obsessed with them for a while. So
Operation Mindcrime time, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. So I went off and I sort of followed them a bit more, and then came back to Marillion in 95, 96, which is a story in itself as well. So
go on then.
Right. Well, so
your episode, mate. Go on.
Right. Cheers. So I'd bought Season's End, and I'd sort of listened to it a couple of times, put it on the shelf, same with Holidays in Eden, and then, like I say, I drifted off. So forward to about 96, and what I would do is when I was at work, I would, on a Thursday night, was late night shopping, so I'd go into Aberdeen, and I'd go and buy some CDs, go back to the car, then go for a drive and listen to the CDs. So this one night I'd been in town, bought some stuff, went for a drive in the country, put one of the CDs on. So I'm out driving in the country, and came to this junction, turned left at the junction. As I turned left at the junction, went down the road a little bit. In the opposite direction, there's a Volvo coming at 90 miles an hour, roughly. Couldn't handle the corner, flipped the Volvo. The Volvo rolled over the top of my car, which was a Vauxhall Nova, and completely wrecked it. So about 15 minutes later, I woke up covered in blood, broken arm, broken leg, broken cheekbone. Fire brigade came and cut us out, took us to hospital. It was a bit touch and go for a while. But anyway, so while I'm recovering, I spent about 4 months recovering. So while I was recovering, when my mum would come in a hospital, she would, do you want anything? So I would usually give her a list of CDs for her to get for us to listen to in hospital. And I was running out of ideas a little bit. So
there's only so much Kylie you can cope with.
there's only it was, there was only so much I could think of. So I thought, and I'd read something. So she came in one day. What do you want? I said, get us blah blah blah, and get us. Can you get us Brave by Marillion? So she went and got us those, brought them back, and when I listened to Brave, that was it. I was just blown away. It was that, and that was when I really got back into them.
Yeah,
that was when I went from being, sort of casual to being a real hardcore nutter stalker sort of thing.
It's a pretty major impact on your life in lots of ways. Then
Yeah. I mean, I think I met my first wife through Marillion and Babylon 5, but that's another story. I met my second wife through Marillion on Second Life, but that's another story. So
well, wasn't there something about Marillion on there as well?
We used to have a Marillion group where we all hung out, and Vanessa was on that as well. So
a Marillion group on Second Life, that's as nerdy as it gets.
That's as yeah. And
I can't compete with that.
Used to do discos with Marillion music and all sorts of stuff.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
It was the early noughties. It was all
It was a different time, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, look, we're so. I mean, although I wasn't your best man, I was at your.
You were my best man in PZ, weren't you? Because I had
three of us.
We had three of them.
Yeah,
we had a group Cakey Boys best men.
We did. But I mean, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about that? Because that was a very unusual wedding.
Well, this was before I'd started working for them, but I sort of knew everybody. By this time, I'd been friends with Lucy for a long time. So myself and Vanessa, we were getting married, and because we've got so many friends that are overseas and are Marillion fans, it wasn't really practical to ask them to come to our wedding where we live. So we got to thinking, and we're like, well, what if we could get married at the Marillion weekend? So contacted our registrar, and she was up for it, so that was all fine. Contacted Centre Parks, they were all up for it. They arranged everything, so that was fine. And then I thought, can I do anything to make it a bit? So I thought, I'll chance my arm. So I emailed Lucy and said, pass this on to H. I said, and I just wrote a little email saying we're planning to get married at PZ. I realize you're really busy during the weekends, and I totally understand if you don't want to do it, or if it's not, you don't think it's appropriate or whatever. But would you be willing to, if we have the ceremony at PZ, would you be willing to come and take our vows? And H emailed back and said, yeah, no problem. So it ended up, we got married at PZ in the oh God, what's that little restaurant called?
It's the little downstairs.
It's like a coconut club or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, so we got married in there with everybody, like all our friends from all around the world. I think all the band were there as well. H walked Vanessa down the aisle, which was, she still talks about that today. So I think she preferred it to her dad walking her down the aisle.
But it was great. It was a really unique thing to be part of. And so honoured to be invited and asked.
It was brilliant. It was manic though, because we went from that still in our suits to do the quiz.
Yeah, we're doing the quiz in the suit in the Adventure Factory. We're doing the quiz in all suited and booted. The best turned out quiz quiz team ever.
Yeah, it was something else. I can't remember what were the main thing I remember from afterwards is having the party in the Adventure Factory.
Yeah.
And our friend, I've got to mention our friend Karen, who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Is she was going behind the bar and helping herself to bottles of prosecco. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good. I mean, the weekends are great anyway, but that was extra special, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the weekends, you've obviously got an involvement in them now.
Yeah.
How much work do you have to do for the weekends?
Yeah, it's sort of it ebbs and flows a little bit. Like for recently, the last couple of months, I've been working with Stephanie on the website and so on. So everything, all the booking forms, everything, the website needs to be updated. All the booking forms need to be updated and tested. Sometimes we'll change them. We've made a few little changes to the booking form this year to make it a bit easier, and so do a few other things so people can't claim that they haven't read the instruction. We'll put a little thing in that you've got to tick now to confirm that you've read the terms and conditions.
How many times do you type all the information is on the website?
Yeah, exactly. So
and also the ever expanding FAQs where any extra random questions that come in.
Yeah. Daft questions. So but that's all obviously that's all done, and now it's live and it's the booking period's closed or whatever. That's all done. So it's over to Stephanie, who does all the really hard work.
Yeah, fitting everybody in.
Yeah. So now I had a meeting on Friday with our PZ head of merch, George, who's when we've just started discussing, coming up with some ideas between us for what we'd like to do for merch and stuff, and then we'll get everybody else involved and see what they've got to say. So
George, in George's episode, she talked about she likes it when she can do merch that's linked to a particular song.
Yeah,
especially if they're playing it at the weekend.
Yeah, which is great until you come up with a somewhere else bathrobe or something, then 2 weeks before they decide they're not playing somewhere else anymore.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for Nothing Fills the Hole. Just saying.
Pardon?
Greg's got a merch idea for Nothing Fills a Hole, but
all right, donuts.
It's not fit for this not fit for this podcast. I'll tell you now.
It's not fit for any podcast.
Well, you're talking to them. You're talking to the man who came up with the sounds that can't be made butt plugs. that never made it off the drawing board either.
That might be along the lines of Craig's thinking as well, I think. But yeah.
Oh, I'm too innocent for stuff like that.
And then when you get to Port, because we obviously see you at Port Zealand, and I appreciate how busy you are, because you get much the same as you are when you're at home. You're asked if something crops up at Port Zealand.
Yeah, most of the time it's like the last few times it's been if something crops up, can you go and help? Like 2021 was it? Oh, 2021 was sitting in the market dome having my lunch, nice glass of beer. Phone rings. Lucy, can you take Phil Brown to the nearest town to go to a DIY shop and get some white spray paint for the mic stands in Praise of Folly, because they have to be white, so we need to spray them. So jump in the car, driving around the Dutch countryside with Phil Brown, talking about the doolies and God knows what else, trying to find the local B&Q. Yeah, so that's usually the extent of it. But last time it was a bit different as well, because God bless Brexit.
I don't think the words God bless it.
No, because of that, we had to get a lot of the merchandise made over here.
Yeah.
So, and quite a bit of it got delivered to our house just because it was easier. So that's what George was talking about when she was saying our house being full of stuff. So
is that not the plan this year?
No, hopefully not. So but a lot of stuff got delivered here last year, so I had to hire a storage unit, take stuff to the storage unit, hire a van. I drove a load of the merch in a van from here to PZ last time, which I wouldn't normally do. So
Yeah.
but we've got a cunning plan
Ooh,
for next
Dear.
time.
okay.
Just sort the logistics out, sort of thing. It's not nothing
And
fancy.
you go to one or two of the other weekends, don't you?
Yeah, usually. I can't remember last year we went to Berlin, which was amazing. I really enjoyed Berlin. I wanted to go back actually this year, next year, sorry, but there's just too many other weekends that was in places that we want to go to as well.
Yeah,
So next year we're going to Girona. Good thing about Girona is Vanessa's son lives in Barcelona, so
Oh, brilliant.
we'll go and see him for a week afterwards. So, and Padua, we were supposed to go to Padua last time, but funnily enough, we were visiting Vanessa's son, so we couldn't.
Right.
So we're going to do Padua. So PZ, Padua, and Girona.
All very nice locations.
Yeah.
Lovely. Not quite Leicester, is it?
No. Oh, Leicester's good.
Leicester's great. Leicester's great, but the weather's a lottery. It's a bit like me today, sat here about to go to an outdoor gig in June in the UK, and it's great, and I'm about to chuck it down. So
yeah, you can't beat that. You can't beat that carpet in that hotel in Leicester.
In Leicester,
yeah. I wonder if the crisp is still. Have you heard the story about the crisp?
No.
I think it's Jane Moyer. It was the last time I was in Leicester. I can't remember when. We had the bag of these cheesy crisps. So somebody put a cheese that in the bar area of the hotel. There's this massive painting. So somebody got up on a chair and put a crisp on top of the
on top of the painting.
on top of the painting. When we went back 2 years later, it was still there.
I'll have to look out for that. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's brilliant. So we talked a little bit about merch ideas that haven't taken off.
Yeah.
Have you got any classics that you really wish had gone into manufacture?
Not that I can.
Or might you come back to them? Is that the problem?
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes it's either not sometimes it's just not the right time. So we'll come back to we'll think of something and you can't do that, but let's save. Nothing gets wasted. Everything goes. I keep everything I work on. I keep it.
Yeah.
And then if I think of something else, I could use this or whatever. Well, but yeah, there's been some hideous.
Come on, give us one.
Some hideous
misfire.
Well, here's a good one actually. The George's one, I agree with. The green running tops, they were
yes.
I don't know who thought green. I think it was might have been Fraser suggested bright green.
They were going to be football tops, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
The last minute, it went to running top.
Yeah. So, but we're hoping to do a football top for next year. I've seen some samples, and I think we've found a football top that won't make the what's the word?
Totally a gentleman.
That won't make the more generously upholstered older Marillion male fans look like £8 of shit in a £6 bag.
Yeah.
Can I say
like
that?
The last one did.
Yeah. I think that was one of your bugbears about the last one, wasn't it?
Me? What are you saying?
Just saying.
Yeah, I had a veranda over my jeans. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Well, these ones we're looking at, they're like 80s. They're a bit more retro. So
I think we said it to George on her episode, but the Slazenger tracky top from that era.
Yeah.
The best piece of merch. Okay, all right then. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Absolutely brilliant. With an embroidered badge, of course.
Yes. Yeah. I would have thought so.
Okay.
But yeah, there's been some, and another one from last time was the t-shirts that have got Hogarth and Travis and Kelly. So they turned up, but the supplier. They turned up at PZ, so we opened the boxes and the suppliers printed the for the men's ones, I think he's printed the names on the back instead of the front. So we've got all these T-shirts that are wrong, but you can't get. It's the day of the week. It's the day the weekend starts, so you can't get new ones. So, God, what we're going to do? So we printed off a load of little Marillion logos and stuck them on the front.
Yeah.
So,
is there any chance of that coming back printed the right way around?
Yes, possibly, because I don't know if you've heard, we're doing some retro shirts.
Yeah, are you doing print on demand?
Yeah, they're going to be print on demand though. Yeah. So basically, we can do anything. I've just I visited our supplier last week, and everything's fine. We've just got some finishing touches to do.
You remixed Easter and Brave shirts have gone down really well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. They seem to have. Obviously, the sort of problem with some of them is we don't have the original artwork anymore.
Right.
So basically,
it was all done by Bravado back then, though.
Yeah, so I've basically got to reconstruct them. So sometimes they're not 100% exactly the same.
It wasn't,
but there is
noticeably different. I think the Easter one was a slightly smaller image.
Yeah, the Easter one is the cover of the 12-inch single rather than I think they used a poster or something for the original one.
So thing originally, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it's got all the dates on. It's instead of just UK dates or whatever.
It only had 3 on. It only had Hull, Birmingham, and Wembley on it.
Yeah, well, this has got all of them. This has got the entire tour. So
yeah, no, it's a really nice shirt, and it's discounted. It's currently discounted at Racket.
Yeah, might not be by the time you get to hear this.
Oh, okay. Why
it's probably sold out by the time this happens.
Cut that.
All right. I got it discounted anyway.
Good for you.
Can you enjoy the weekend? Can you enjoy Port Zealand still?
Yeah. I mean, we still get to see all our friends. We still get to see the gigs. Still get to hang out with everybody. It's just now and again there's something that needs doing. It's not as I'm probably the least involved. It's not as full on for me as Stephanie and Steph and Lucy are all running around and Rich are all running around like nutters. But
yeah,
I'm more sort of we need something done.
They did collar you last time for the Marillion Monthly episode, though, didn't they?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, which that was I quite enjoyed that. It was different. I don't like being. I don't always like being on camera. So
you like us with a good face for radio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
how when you first started working for the band, you must have been to the Racket Club a few times.
Yeah, not as many times as you would think.
All right.
Because I was living here when it started. I mean, I'd been a few times before. Lucy, when they still had the kebab van.
All right.
And when Colin was still there, I visited a few times because I would be down occasionally. Because when I used to work at the uni with SAP, I would be down at Heathrow for training stuff for SAP. So I would stay with one of my mates near Tame, which isn't a million miles away from the Racket Club. So I would pop past every so often. But
yeah,
I went a couple of times when they had the kebab van. Christine might even have still been there.
Oh wow,
as well.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, and then I would nip past every so often. But the last time I was there was a couple of years ago, so I haven't been for a while.
But I was going to ask you how weird it was when you were first around the band when you worked for them. Was that normal? Was it?
It's not. It's weird. It's still weird. I still have not a hard time, but I still, it's still like, oh, it's them sort of thing a little bit.
Yeah.
But you get used to it. I mean, you get over it eventually. You just start treating them like you would anybody else. Well, not quite, but it's still a employer worker sort of thing. But you would, you just start. You get over it eventually. You just start behaving normally. We'll have a laugh and a joke. they'll send some. Whereas before they'll send an email around. I wouldn't dare reply when I first started, but now I'll chuck me 2 cents in or whatever, and nobody's bothered. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy for anybody to contribute, sort of thing. So,
do you get involved in any of the solo stuff they do?
no, not really. Other than putting stuff up for sale on the shop or whatever. When H has done his live streams, I've done some of the setup work for that. But since when we started the video on demand service, that a lot of the stuff that we had to do for the live streams, like ticketing and that, you can do all that through the live streaming platform. So that all sort of went away. I mean, when we did the first H live stream, I think we had real problems with getting the viewing link out to everybody. I was sitting 5 minutes before the show started, just cutting and pasting emails, sending them out to people so they could who hadn't received the link or whatever, so they could watch the show. So, but yeah, by and large, not really. I mean, they all do their own thing. I do the odd. I mean, I did like George said, I did the cover for Ian's book.
Yes.
So I do the odd, but that wasn't that difficult. I did a little bit of the layout as well, some of the photos and stuff. But again, that wasn't. Should just sent the photo through, and it was all pretty much ready to go. So
yeah,
brilliant.
What's the best thing about working for them?
Oh, I don't know.
You can't say the pay.
I can't. No, not the pay. Cut that bit out.
No, that stays in.
No, just getting to do what you want. There's up to an extent. They say this. Somebody says do this, and you get to run with it, sort of thing. And you can do what you want. Just use your imagination. And like I said as well, I think I said this on the Marillion Monthly, nobody ever says that's a stupid idea or that's a shit idea or, know.
Well, they just turn the mic off first.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's got a valid opinion, sort of thing. So
you've got like a creative input.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing about working for them? This is staying in, so be careful.
This is staying in. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not that bad, but the being slightly detached from everything sometimes, because I'm over here and everybody else is in the UK. But again, they're only ever at the end of a Zoom call, and we managed during COVID. We all managed, So,
I mean, we've chatted, personally, face to face about. I was under the impression that you would get to hear lots more sort of work in progress and rare stuff. We haven't heard, and that's not the case.
No, I get kept away from. I mean, like the deluxe editions. I mean, the TSE ones coming out in November or whatever. I haven't heard a note of it.
Right.
So Tim will usually send the documentary around everybody just to get some opinions and stuff. I haven't even seen the documentary yet. So, but yeah, I think people have this impression that we sit around all day listening to continuously getting fed whatever they're working on and just sitting listening to it, which we don't. I didn't hear. I mean, yeah, I heard An Hour Before It's Dark about a year before everybody else, but I didn't hear any of the in progress stuff. I didn't hear it until Lucy was like, "Oh, this is this is in a state of near completion."
Yeah.
And she hadn't heard it either. I mean, I think we're both pretty much, she hadn't listened to it either. We're both pretty much heard it within about a week of each other.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's better because, I mean, by the time An Hour Before It's Dark it came out, I'd heard it about 1 million times, so.
Yeah.
So what's been your favorite either t-shirt or design or anything that you think that's up there that you love the most?
Oh, I do like that Easter one. I really like the new Brave one that we did. Yeah, not sure. I'd have to go and look on the shop and
Ooh, that was
look
mine. I
through
love that.
everything. Oh, that was nice. The beach towels, for some reason, I really like doing beach towels, and they always turn out really well. The
Well,
new beach.
we were chatting to Mike Barton's desperate to do some Planet Marzipan merch.
Okay.
So
His beach towel
we were
idea.
his beach towel idea. Craig, you've got to tell him the beach towel idea. I'm not sure about this at all.
I dread to think, but
Go on.
Well, a beach towel of a bikini-clad young lady.
all right, okay.
Yeah, it's not PC at all, is it? Really?
No,
No, it's not.
I could knock you
It's-
something up if you want.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's the yeah.
You should
Well,
do
let's talk
t-shirts.
offline for that. Yeah.
You should do t-shirts
For who?
for Planet Marzipan
Okay.
with I'm Faye Gouston on the back,
Yes. Good
and
point.
so's my wife.
it's all right. Well, we're only going to go with the Ron Smallwood production. So.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I forgot about
yeah,
that. The
yeah.
Sheriff of Huddersfield. Well done. Yeah, so I don't know. Beach towels always seem to go down well, and the new one, I really like that Strange Engine one that we just did. I really like that just
Yeah.
because it's hideous, but deliberately.
Well, you get to keep your sun lounger, don't you, if you put that out early
Yeah, it's a
morning.
beach towel. It's supposed to be hideous. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you
So,
working on now, right at this minute?
right at this minute, oh
Well,
God,
obviously this, but
oh
yeah.
don't ask. Right at this minute, I'm having an absolute nightmare. It's nobody's fault, but I'm working on some back end stuff with Shopify and a few other things, and it's a absolute nightmare because I can't get anything to work. You can't contact anybody. It's there's no support when something goes wrong. So that's what I'm doing at the minute. But again, what's apart from that, I'm trying to do some artwork for the next bit of the PZ release. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. Weekend, like we're brainstorming weekend stuff, so we'll probably start coming up with stuff for that. Setting this retro t-shirt thing up, that should hopefully be online very soon. Looking at some other stuff for PZ for events, because as you know, the Friday night at PZ is
He's not a Marillion now.
it's not a Marillion night,
Yeah.
so we're looking at some other stuff for that. So
Right.
So how excited were you, by the way, about who you're getting for Friday night?
I'm very excited.
I can't believe the Crankies have agreed to do it.
I know, yeah. It was only because we told them it was a swingers weekend.
The safe word is fan dabby dozy.
Yeah. So no, I'm absolutely delighted. But
yeah.
if it's announced by the time
it's already been announced.
Where?
Where?
I thought it already happened.
No, Mark told us that hadn't been
I
announced.
told you I haven't announced
that hasn't been announced.
It hasn't been announced. It's top secret. But if it's announced by if it's announced by the time this is broadcast, you can tell everybody. So
well, you better tell everybody then.
It's my favorite lady singer from the Netherlands is playing in the tent on the Friday night, Anneke van Giersbergen. So really, really looking forward to it. And if you're listening to this, get along and see her. Otherwise, because I'm going to make sure there is absolutely nothing happening anywhere else on that site on a Friday night. I'm going to be walking around with an electric cattle prod, herding people in the tent.
Oh, that's John's plan for Planet Marzipan Live.
So,
this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm absolutely delighted, and we've got some other amazing bands lined up that I can't talk about. So.
No. Any prog?
Depends on your well, Annika's slightly prog sometimes.
I don't know.
Depending on what she plays. Did a duet with John Wetton. That's prog, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So some prog, depending on your definition of prog.
Okay. Let's talk offline. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And are you listening to the pod? Have you been listening to this?
Yes, I have. I haven't listened to the last couple. I'll give a listen to the new one once we're finished. So, but yeah, I've been enjoying it. You do a good job. I mean, I looked at something. I was looking for something the other day. I can't. How many episodes have you done?
Well, by the time we've gone past,
six today.
Yeah, by the time this goes out, we'll have gone past.
We've gone past 50. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you'd done so many episodes. So...
You couldn't.
I can't believe how many times you can recycle this. It's brilliant.
Yeah. No, it is good. I mean, you're doing a really good job. So,
we had some nice
driving your tank onto the lawn.
Yes, yeah. Parking our tank on someone else's
I'd mention that. Yeah.
Thanks for that, mate. Yeah.
Laughing at your own jokes.
Well, somebody's got to laugh at me jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craig's got a book of dad jokes coming out for Christmas, I think.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Shittest jokes ever, volume 1.
Keep it up.
That's right.
I think we talked when you were first on the pod about your introduction to the band.
Yeah.
What's your favourite era of the band or favourite album?
Well, my favourite album is probably An Hour Before It's Dark.
Right.
I got to say, which, yeah, I know it sounds
you don't
like
have to say
he's
that,
just saying that because it's the last one he works for them, but no, I really do. I mean, I think it's Care that makes it. Care's amazing. It's just and Crow and the Nightingale as well.
Yeah,
just makes it. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I did embarrass John in front of others just to say about how much he tears up in the Nightingale.
But then he just announces that he did the solo in his garage.
Yeah, just whipped it out.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, before that, Afraid of Sunlight, Brave were sort of my two go-to albums. So, and I mean, yeah, I like the Fish stuff, but I very rarely listen to it. If I'm going to listen to Fish these days, I'll listen to Welshmates.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to see him, aren't we?
We're going to see him. Yes, we're all
going to see him in Holland.
We're all going Tivoli and Utrecht to see him in September, October.
October.
Yeah, I'll turn up a month early.
I'm going to say you might be there in September, but I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it because you've really talked up the venue. So
the venue's amazing. So if you've never been before, it's fantastic. It's one of the band's favourite venues to play as well. So it's usually a toss-up between there and the Zenith in Paris. So
you sit on the side, don't you? Normally,
normally if we're on our own, we usually stand at the front. But if Lucy's with us, there's a little, because the seats basically go all the way around the auditorium. We sit off to one side behind the monitor desk.
Yeah,
and you usually get quite a good view. So
more importantly, we get to see you. So
yeah, have a few beers.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Forward to it on lots of levels.
Yeah.
Have you? I mean, we've just, as we're recording, we've kind of come back from seeing the Rotherham band at the weekend, and then today's episode that's gone out is us seeing Silurian.
Yeah.
In Gateshead. Have you caught any of the tribute bands?
Only Still Marillion.
Okay.
Which I've seen Still Marillion a few times, I think. I've seen a few others that are no longer with us, I think, though, haven't I?
No, we saw Forgotten Sons.
We saw Forgotten Sons, didn't we?
But
I think Still Marillion's and Forgotten Sons are the only ones I've seen. We saw Forgotten Sons at the not Forgotten Sons. Saw Still Marillion and Gateshead as well, didn't I?
Yeah, we saw them at the Clooney.
Did, yeah.
Not Clooney. Before that was the 3 Tons then.
Yeah, the 3 Tons, and I've seen them at the Clooney.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
Was that not the week after your wedding or something?
It was close by to then, yeah.
Yeah. But I do like them. I like Still Marillion.
Yeah. Martin's a legend. So the rest of the guys,
yeah.
They're great at what they do. They really
good.
are.
Yeah.
And the gigs in Leicester when Marillion Weekend are on a really highly recommended. I know they're quite respectful. They don't put tickets on sale until after the Marillion weekend
Yeah,
tickets go on sale. So
I've never caught them they've been on while we've been at the Leicester weekend, but for some reason I've never caught them. Maybe Vanessa doesn't want to cram into a sweaty little
well, to
venue
be honest
or
with you, the
whatever.
Y Theatre is not a sweat
Yeah,
of
it's a
anything.
proper
It's
proper
really
little
nice.
theatre,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
lovely. It's lovely.
yeah.
Lots of space and a nice balcony as well if you want to sit down. But
Yeah.
it's good.
We have a local festival here that it's happening in a couple of weeks. Actually, happens over in the park. It's about 5 minutes walk from ours, and we'll have a tribute band night. Like we've got this year, they've got this amazing guy that Elvis tribute, but he's uncanny.
Right.
But I'm always joking that we should see if we can get Still Marillion over.
Yeah.
Because I was going off on a complete tangent. I was at a gig here. If you've heard the story, I was at a gig here a few months ago, and I'm standing flicking. I took some photos, so I'm standing flicking through my photos, and I had a t-shirt on, and this guy's wife taps us on the shoulder and said, "Oh, photos, blah blah blah," and it was a tribute band. It was a Ronnie Dio tribute band. So she says, "Do you like tribute bands?" I said, "Well, she says, "We don't really bother. The only other tribute band we go and see is a band called Still Marillion. Have you heard of them?" And I'm like, "Eh?" And she goes, "Yeah, and they're really good." And I went, "Yeah, I know Martin. Martin's a friend, sort of thing." And she said, "Have you heard of Steve Rothery?" And I'm like, "This is just getting more,
You thought it was a plant, didn't you?
I thought it was a yeah. Have you heard of Steve Rothery? So I was like, yeah, I've come across him a few times. So, and then when we're going out, I said you should try and get Still Marillion for the Röhring, which is the name of the festival.
Yeah.
So might happen someday. You never know.
Well, I mean, we were talking to Martin, I think at the weekend. When they do play Germany, they play much bigger venues than they play over here, don't they?
Well, they play the Border Eye over here, which is quite I mean, H does his solo shows at the Border Eye.
Rothery's there.
Rothers does all this.
By the time this has gone out, he'll have played it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. More power to him, And we talked with Martin on Saturday about, we're covering other tribute bands as well, no disrespect to anybody, if you're out there. It's Celerion on this week's episode as we're talking. And we've got plans to cover Marquee Square Heroes and Splintering Heart as well, I think.
All right, okay. Yeah,
whoever else we get a chance to see as well.
There's a couple of tribute bands over here, Dutch ones over here as well.
Misplaced Neighborhood, is that?
Yeah, it might be. There's another one. There's one called Dry Land.
Oh yeah.
And there's another one, but I can't remember the name. There's a couple of Dutch tribute bands, so keep an eye out.
Yeah. But speaking of tribute bands, this is going to get back to Mark's memory. The Kiss tribute band that we went to
with Ronnie Barker on Ronnie Barker on bass.
Yes, somebody I was talking to the other day that came back and they played Newcastle. They played Trillions.
They were really good, but it was just Ronnie Barker on bass.
Gene Simmons. Oh, it's hilarious! Absolutely hilarious.
And we couldn't stand up. Remember, they wouldn't let. It was at the Customs House, wasn't it?
The Customs House in South Shields.
We couldn't stand up. They wouldn't let you stand up.
Why?
Kiss.
Not till the end. It was
So
I don't think stand up.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually laughed so much.
But they were really good. But
Tony Barker.
Yeah.
Still makes us laugh.
Anyway. Is there anything exclusive that you can tell us, Mark? Probably not, is it?
Probably not. Not that I can think of.
That's that question.
Like what?
Well, if I knew, then it wouldn't be exclusive.
It would be. Yeah. What have anything I've blabbed to you that I shouldn't have?
I'd never discussed that, Mark. You don't tell us anything.
I never tell you anything. No, I can't.
No, officially, you never tell us anything.
Not that I can think of.
Well, we're looking forward to the TSE box. That looks great.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff on there.
Thing is, it's going to be TSE. We're going to have like .com
I think
and
.com
marbles and
yeah.
stuff as well. So it's all
.com is the next one, I think. So
Is it?
yeah. Looking forward to it. See what they can.
Did
See what they do with them.
Did somebody say they were doing something with marbles the other day?
we're recording was it an interview or something about
Yeah, what was
marbles?
that for?
Oh no, they're doing a. I provided some photos and graphics and stuff to Prog magazine. They were going to
Oh,
do
right.
a
Is
feat.
it
They were going to
like
do
an
a feat.
anniversary thing?
They were doing a feature on marbles.
Right.
So
Yeah, because
Might-
I was convinced it was
might have been that.
.com, the next
Yeah.
one. And
no,
then
I sent them a load of stuff. Basically everything we've got. No.
Well, look.
I'm really looking forward to the reissues.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Strange Engine one looks really, really good.
It does, yeah. There's some good stuff in there. So
And are they coming out through Adele then?
yes, all through Ear Music.
Yeah.
Adele. Oh, who are great. They're good to deal with as well. So
And thanks for going back to 4 CDs and a Blu-ray.
yes. Nothing to do with me.
I know it's not, but I'll thank you anyway.
Yeah.
Nice to get the B-sides on a CD.
Yeah, there's a bit more scope to do stuff, I think, with Ear Music. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Mark. It's been brilliant. I hope our listeners have learned a lot about what you do.
Probably not, but you know.
Might even get you a job title.
That's their fault, not mine. No, sorry. Other way around. My fault, not theirs.
Okay. Well, look, thanks for everything you do for the band. You're integral to a lot of things that go on and very much behind the scenes. So thanks for coming out from behind the scenes for this.
Coming out. I'm coming out.
I get told off for a review thing for a good few weeks. So appreciate you've been busy, but it'd be nice to get you back on.
I'll come back on for some. We'll think of something
to review.
Come back on from an album or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I'll get hold of this Strange Engine.
Oh, yes, please. It's been good to see you, mate, virtually.
Yeah, you
looking
too.
Forward to seeing you on October.
Yeah.
And
that'll be a good night.
Yeah.
Have you booked your flights, by the way?
I have, yeah. He hasn't. I have.
Okay.
I think he's swimming over.
So I'm just waiting for because EasyJet are now flying from Newcastle. Just announced it.
Okay.
So I'll get it sorted.
Great.
I'm paid like 4 times the price of the gig ticket to travel KLM. So.
Oh dear.
But it's worth it. It's worth
it to see me.
Yeah. Well, look, thanks for speaking to us, Mark.
No
Cheers,
problem.
Mrs.
Take care. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Take care.
Stay alive.
Yay!
Gotcha.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out marillion.com, fishmusic.scot or fishmusic.eu for all the good stuff.